Midterms are ending, but the stress of schoolwork continues as the fall rolls on. Coming up, we'll show you how Texas Tech campus is helping students to tackle stress during a month-long push to live a healthier life.
If you felt like the campus was a bit more packed at the beginning of the week, it wasn't just your imagination. Find out how one of the biggest recruitment events of the fall brought thousands of potential Red Raiders to the hub city.
And Texas Tech soccer and football are both enjoying some extra publicity this week as players from both teams received national recognition. Find out which Red Raiders have enjoyed some time in the spotlight and how you can watch them show off their skills in their next Big 12 matchups.
This is the MCTV Weekday Update.
Welcome to the Thursday edition of the MCTV Weekday Update. I'm Sofia Bueno.
And I'm Jasmine Khalil. Midterm exams and projects are nearing an end across the Texas Tech campus, but for many students, the most stressful part of the semester is still to come.
There are a lot of ways to deal with stress, but one university group is promoting an initiative throughout October that can not only reduce your stress level, but help you live a healthier life. On Tuesday, the Department of Kinesiology and Sports Management and University Recreation held a special event in the Engineering Key. Exercises Medicine ran from 10:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. to promote Exercises Medicine Month throughout all of October. Students could stop by the event and get the chance to participate in several activities to get them moving and pick up additional information on ways to stay active. Attendees could also get information about the Department of Kinesiology and Sports Management graduate programs.
We declared Exercises Medicine Month in the month of October, and today is just our Exercises Medicine Day. And so we have lots of activities just to promote physical activity. We have lots of information on the benefits of being active.
Exercises Medicine is a worldwide initiative that promotes the idea of using physical activity as a standard part of medical care. This year is the first time that Texas Tech has recognized October as Exercises Medicine Month, but plans are already underway to observe the global initiative again next year. For more information about Exercises Medicine, including resources to help you live a healthier life, visit exercisesmedicine.org.
Water conservation is an important issue around the world, but especially in areas where agriculture is a big part of the economy. Right here on the South Plains, agriculture and water are topics that affect our daily lives, inspiring one college to bring people together to help preserve one of our most precious resources. Starting on Tuesday, Texas Tech's Davis College of Agriculture Sciences and Natural Resources hosted the second annual Agricultural Water Sustainability Summit here in Lubbock. The Davis College works with the Texas section of the American Water Works Association to organize this week's event. The summit brings together educators, experts, and legislators, along with farmers and ranchers for a two-day event to discuss new ideas for smarter water use in agriculture. The summit was held at the Lubbock Civic Center and included keynote speeches, panel discussions, and more than a dozen breakout sessions. The goal of the summit was to help make connections between the stakeholders and to spark conversations about new ways of thinking on how to sustain the water supply. The Agricultural Water Sustainability Summit wrapped up yesterday afternoon at 5 p.m.
Back here on campus at the beginning of this week, you may have noticed that it felt a little bit more packed than usual as you headed to class, but it wasn't your imagination. The university welcomed in several thousand visitors as Texas Tech held the largest undergraduate admissions event of the fall. Texas Tech Preview took place on Monday, hosting more than 2,000 prospective students. At 8 a.m., attendees headed to the United Supermarkets Arena where they were welcomed by Texas Tech cheerleaders and the going band from Raiderland. Potential students and families also got to hear a speech from Red Raider basketball coach Grant McCasland. After the welcome at the USA, attendees had opportunities to speak to representatives from the different colleges, take campus and residence hall tours, and learn more about what Texas Tech has to offer. Faith Douglas with the College of Media and Communication said that Monday's event was just the first step for future Red Raiders on the road to a successful future.
We prepare students from the get-go, so from their freshman year on, they're getting to be a part of all kinds of stuff, especially for their career, because we have all the fun, right? Texas Tech had tons of fun here. However, I think it's really important that students are working on their careers and getting internships and jobs and working on that resume since they're freshmen, not the time that they're graduating and almost on their way out.
Although there is only one Texas Tech Preview each academic year, the university continuously hosts recruiting events to bring in even more students next year.
Earlier this week, parts of the South Plains received some much-needed rain, including here on the Texas Tech campus.
Since then, it's been dry and sunny, but can we expect any changes as we head into another weekend in October? Weather specialist Elisabeth Herring joins us now with the details on what to expect in today's MCTV forecast. Elizabeth?
Yeah, well, we did have a cooler start to our week, along with some rain late morning and early afternoon on Monday. Today, though, clear, sunny skies. We've been seeing warmer temperatures lately. After Monday, on Tuesday, we hit 80 degrees once again, and yesterday we hit a high of 86 degrees, and that's about 10 degrees above our normal temperatures in the mid to upper 70s. So we are running a little bit warm. We are going to see some warmer weather later this week, but maybe cooler weather as we head into next week. Today, highs in the 80s across the South Plains area, and as we head into Friday, cooling off tonight, but warming right back up on Friday with some even warmer temperatures, and then Saturday night dipping into those 60s and right back into our mid 80s for Saturday. Tonight in the South Plains area, lows in the lower 50s to mid 60s. Freona 52, Demet 54, and then off the Caprock in the lower 60s. And tomorrow, warming up even more than today with highs in the upper 80s for many areas and lower 90s for some areas as well. Tonight here locally in Lubbock, low of 60. Tomorrow, warming right back up to 88 degrees and sunny skies. So it's going to be a warm one tomorrow. However, the corn maze is still open this weekend. So if you're looking for something to do, Saturday, high of 84. It's going to be a pretty day. Sunday, 77 if you're looking maybe some more of that fall weather. Sunday's going to be the day to go. But overall, a nice weekend and no chances of rain this weekend as well. 7-day forecast looking pretty warm as we start off our week next week. Monday, high of 92 degrees. Kind of an outlier as far as temperature goes for Monday. And then Tuesday, dropping almost 20 degrees with a high of 75. Wednesday and Thursday staying in the lower 80s, upper 70s, lows next week in the 50s. Monday is going to be a warm day, but lows are getting pretty chilly in the lower 50s next week, so we could possibly see some 40-degree temperatures as we head into this weekend as well as next week. I'm Elizabeth, and it's back to y'all.
Thanks, Elizabeth. Late last month, the Texas Tech campus sent out an email notification that the annual Security and Safety Report was available for viewing by the public. The document, commonly known as the Clery Report, is accessible each year through the Texas Tech Clery Compliance website.
MCTV accessed the information and ran a story at the beginning of October, but last week a notification was sent to the university community stating that the report had been updated with the revisions following an internal review. The new statistics in the updated report show a noticeable decline for many of the crimes originally reported in our October 2nd newscast. Reports of rape, aggravated assault, and motor vehicle threat dropped by as many as 10 reports, while burglary dropped by half from 12 to 6. Aggravated assault still remained much higher than last year at 97, but the update includes additional information stating that 93 of those reports occurred during student travel and involved hazing by a student organization. The only statistic that was not revised was sexual fondling, which remains at 6 reports last year. Reports of violence against women also changed, with domestic violence showing the most difference, decreasing from 35 to 17. Stalking was also reduced by 1 report from 48 to 47, but there was no change in the number of dating violence incidents. One of the most notable changes was the removal of a hate crime from this year's Clery report. Originally, the documentation listed a report that included the destruction, damage, and vandalism of a non-campus property. That crime is no longer listed, which makes this the first annual report to not include a hate crime since 2022. Following the notification of the updated report, MCTV contacted Clery Compliance Officer Claire Navarez regarding the changes that were released last week. Navarez stated that an additional review determined that some of the original reports of crime did not occur on property directly adjacent or accessible to the Texas Tech campus. Navarez's statement goes on to say, quote, "We regularly review and verify data to ensure compliance with federal reporting requirements and to provide our community with the most accurate and reliable information possible." If you would like to view the entire 2025 Clery report, visit the website listed on your screen and click on the redirect link to the annual security and fire safety reports.
It's been a mostly quiet week for Texas Tech athletics, with no sporting events on the schedule up to today, but there has been a few headlines for the Texas Tech football team after another successful weekend against a Big 12 opponent. On Monday, running back Cameron Dickey, outside linebacker David Bailey, and the Red Raider defense line all received weekly awards from the Big 12. Dickey was named Offensive Player of the Week, while Bailey was named Defensive Player of the Week. And Texas Tech also received the honor for Defensive Line of the Week. On top of that, Dickey was also announced as the Walter Camp National Offensive Player of the Week, the Doak Walker National Running Back of the Week, and the Earl Campbell Tyler Rose Award Player of the Week. Dickey was recognized for racking up 263 yards on 21 carries, along with 2 touchdowns during the Kansas game on Saturday. And perhaps the biggest headline kicked off the week as Texas Tech moved up to number 7 in the AP Top 25 poll and number 8 in the USA Today Coaches poll. The last time Tech was ranked this high was back in 2008 when Coach Mike Leach led the Red Raiders to a 7-1 record in conference and a program high number 2 national ranking in the AP poll. The Red Raiders will defend their top 10 rankings this Saturday as they head to Arizona State for a matchup with the Sun Devils. Tech will take on the reigning Big 12 champions at 3 p.m. with the TV coverage on Fox.
The Texas Tech soccer team also made some headlines this week as they continue undefeated in Big 12 play. Yesterday, midfielder Raleigh Greason was announced as one of the 2 players chosen as Big 12 Co-Freshman of the Week. Greason was honored after scoring her first goal in conference play last Friday against number 17 TCU. Greason also had 3 shots on goal in the Red Raiders' tie against the Horned Frogs. Even though Tech didn't win, the tie in a matchup with a top 25 ranked opponent helped the team rise to number 4 in this week's top drawer soccer rankings. The Red Raiders also came in at number 12 in the United Soccer Coaches poll, keeping them in the top 25 for the 3rd straight week. Texas Tech is currently in Tempe, Arizona, preparing for a nighttime showdown against Arizona State. The game is set for a 7 p.m. local start, but here in Lubbock, first touch will be at 9 p.m. If you want to stay up and cheer on the team, you can catch all the action on ESPN+.
So, Sophia, since there's no soccer or football game in town today or Saturday, do you have any other plans this weekend?
Not really. I think I'm just going to study a little bit.
Okay, we should study together.
Down.
Okay, and that's all for today's edition of the MCTV Weekday Update.
Thanks so much for joining us, and be sure to check ttuhub.net every day for more news. We'll see you next week.